Hey talkers, welcome to the Q Talk Show. And as you guys all know, when Q talks, everyone listens. All right, so today we are having a conversation with Karyn Elle. So I'm really excited about this because we're going to talk about life goals, manifestation, and blocking blessings. And I know many of us are in that, you know, realm right now where we're all trying to manifest our goals. We're all trying to manifest our dreams, our aspirations, everything that comes with it. But there are a lot of blocking agents, as some of us who are religious know. We say the blocking agents are the devil. And those of us who are spiritual will say that the blocking agents are more of the universe, right? So with us, what I like to do, what I'm going to do once Karyn gets here, I'm actually messaging her while I'm talking to you guys at the same time. But okay, so just want to message her. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna get to know a little bit more about Karyn, and then I've been saying Karyn, so please forgive me. It's Karyn, okay, Karyn. We're going to get to know a little bit more about the wonderful mama of three and also this magnificent personality, her energy, you guys. I don't know if you saw a last interview where actually I was featured on her podcast, Say It Loud podcast. But when I was introduced to her, I thought I had a high energy. Girl, she got me beat. But I was very excited. That makes me way more comfortable when it comes to interviews because you guys know I bring the energy. So if someone is reciprocating that, oh, it's about to be a good time. So I'm really excited about this. I don't understand. People are always late for lunch. Why are we late for lunch? This is the time that we're supposed to be on time because you want the longest lunch, right? But in the meantime, let's just chat it up a little bit. So I do want to touch on some aspects in terms of what the show is going to look like today and what the future shows are going to look like as well. So let's just do the rundown of today. So today we're going to get to know Karyn. Then we are going to do the Q&A part. As we all know, we're going to talk about life goals, manifestation, and blocking blessings. And then we're going to do a quiz with her. So I do not know if many of you guys have seen, I didn't post this up too many times, but I created a self-care quiz, right? So if you go on my website, qtalks.show, you can click on this link that says take the self-care quiz. So the self-care quiz, I decided because I wanted to know if I am in the right direction of taking care of myself the right way. So the self-care quiz is basically a quiz that is going to tell you if you're taking care of yourself in the right direction or not. So I'm actually going to do this quiz with Karyn. So I'm excited about that. Additional to that, future Q Talks season 8. Yes, I know. We're like, wait, we're still in season 7. How are we already playing season 8? So I'm thinking about tapping back into what Q Talk first originally was when we first started. And, you know, when Q Talks was first QTV. And for those who do know and those who used to watch, then you all know that I started out in the fashion industry. So with me starting out in the fashion industry, I was able to get the leg up as to where I am right now. But the fashion industry is, you know, I consider that as the husband or the boyfriend that I will never get rid of because I was so engulfed in it, especially in high school and elementary. I would say with elementary, it was more like paper dollish kind of fashion. But as I got into high school, I started taking pre-college courses at FIT. Then I started interning, being youngest high school intern. Yeah, I was interning with designers in high school, and I was actually one of their youngest interns because who's accepting high school kids to be interns? Well, now they're doing, but back in the day, they didn't really do much of that. So I was really in this industry. I was doing all the Fashion Week shows, like real New York Fashion Week with Mercedes-Benz, working with IMG. And I really have a deep down love for this. Those who follow me, you see, like my style has never left. But I'm just really excited about season 8 because I'm going back to my roots. We're going to dive into the fashion industry again. And I'm not sure what the show is going to look like yet. I'm not sure which direction I'm taking it yet. But for the meantime, season 8 is going to be all about fashion, and it's going to be in the fall. We're going to start the show season 8 in the fall because summer season's coming to an end soon. But I really want to be able to, I see that everybody, actually, I should say this. I see that we are moving in a world of creativity, in a world of pop, in a world of like color, in a world of people being their own. So I want to be able to dive into that. But give me 1 second. Okay. So I am back. So what happened? Karyn was calling me. She was having technical difficulties. As we know, technology is not the best thing. But in the meantime, as I was saying, season 8 is going to be all about the fashion industry. But we're going to continue to finish season 7. I'm so excited because Karyn is coming in. We're so excited to have her. And then when she pops in, her audio pops in, we're going to welcome Hi, welcome.
How are you?
I'm well, and yourself. Finally, you made it. Thank you for coming.
Of course, I wouldn't miss it. We make it work. I have to be, creative in how I do the things, but we make it work.
Honestly, that's perfect that you said that because I literally was just saying about how we're in a generation right now where everybody's only wants to be creative. Everyone's so creative. Everybody is just tapping into what can I do to make this work? Because back in the days, It wasn't that easy. But I already told the audience the rundown for today. We're going to get to know a little bit more about you. Then we're also going to do a Q&A with life goals, manifestations, and, blocking blessings. We're going to talk about all of that. And then we're going to close the show with the self-care quiz that I have on my website. So I'm going to have you go through a self-care quiz to see if you are taking care of yourself. Oh, okay, perfect.
I need that.
Perfect. So for my viewers, let them know who are we talking to. Tell us a little bit more about Karyn, please.
Wow. There's so much and then there's so little. So I'm Karyn Elle. I am the host and creator of Say It Loud podcast. And now I'm building it out into a brand. So we have Say It Sexy. So I have a podcast that I started about 3 years ago because in my real life, I'm a teacher. My undergrad is in media communications. That has always been my passion and what I love doing. And when I got divorced, I needed to get direct deposit every 2 weeks. And so I was like, well, what can I do that is going to allow me to be a mom to my children? And so I went back and got my master's degree in education. And then a couple of years into that, I was like, this is all right. But I don't get to be the creator and the comedian that I naturally am. So what am I going to do? And a few months after that, I launched Say It Loud podcast, and I just talk my shit and people love it. And then we've charted all over the world. And then we were like, well, let's add t-shirts and merch. And then we did that. And then I did a show called What's in Your Whole Bag. And I was like, I'm going to make a whole bag. And then we launched a lingerie line a year later because you need things to go in the whole bag. And and then people started coming to me and was like, well, how'd you do it? And then I was like, at first I was just giving it away. Like, it's not hard. You can do it. And then I was like, my student loans say that y'all got to pay me for this. You can't just pick my brain for free. And so now I coach other podcasters and other small businesses into growing and help create content and kind of do things on the back end there. So that's pretty much. I'm not busy at all.
I was saying pretty much. Say it loud, please. Wow. Yes. Okay. So as I was telling the audience, I was like, when I first met you, I thought I was the one who bring the energy to the room, and I found someone that matched my energy. So I was like, yo, our piggyback is phenomenal. So I love this. This is amazing. Yeah. Well, one first thing, I do want to give you your flowers for being a powerful Black woman in this world and standing on your own 2 feet and showing your kids what it's like to be a strong Black woman. Congratulations, Mama.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now let's dive deep in.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, let's go.
So life, right? We know that you've been doing, you had your highs, you had your lows, you had all of that. How did you stay balanced, especially with divorce and then having to figure out how to pay bills and have kids and also starting a podcast and working? How do you stay balanced?
So the depth of that and the meat of that is that I didn't learn to stay balanced during those times. I didn't learn what balance was until I got to the other end of the tunnel. And so while you are in the midst of divorce, or you're in the midst of chaos, or you're in the midst of whatever you're feeling that you feel like you don't have control over, you don't know how to balance it. And no one teaches us really how to do that. I can teach someone else because of where I've been and what I've gone through. But at the time, there wasn't really anybody there. You know what I mean? And now that I look at hindsight, I'm like, damn, life was, there was times where life was kind of a mess. I was a mom at 17 years old. So there was times where life was a mess and I couldn't balance, and I didn't know how unbalanced I was. I didn't know what that was doing to me internally and physically, right? Because people think it's just emotional. Like, no, your emotions be affecting how you feel physically. And when you're sick, you're sick in more than one way, but that's a whole nother show. A lot of people now are like, well, how do you find the balance between the work and the full-time job, having been divorced, managing the kids? I think now, hindsight being 2020, is that I've learned that I'm human, that it's okay to stop and be like, you know what, this is overwhelming. It's too much. I can't do this today. We have this thing as just as much as we're powerful, strong Black women, we have this mentality that we got to always be powerful, strong Black women. And there's days where I'm not strong today. I can't make a fist today. I'm tired. My emotions are drained. I'm spent. I need to pour back into myself. And so now I know what that feels like. Now I know when I need to take a break. I know when I need to replenish my soul. I know when I need to sit still. And to be a creator and to be a comedian in some ways and to be my best self, I've had to learn that in order to be that, I have to take that time for myself.
Now, I wanted to piggyback off, okay, for you taking the time for yourself, do you mind telling everybody your age or what age bracket you fall?
No, I tell everybody my age because I feel like people are uncomfortable with their age when they are not comfortable with themselves. When you're comfortable with yourself, you are comfortable with your age. I am 44 years old. I'm 43. I'll be 44 in October. I am the mother of 3 and the grandmother of 2. And when you start a podcast or you have a life where people can look in your little window, you have to be very comfortable with who you are. Yeah. And I'm very comfortable with who I'm the coolest motherfucking grandma that is out there. You know what I mean? I hang out with my kids like they my homies. I talk to them just like this. I talk to you. And so the idea of age doesn't intimidate me because I'm sinking deeper into my skin. You know, I think people are uncomfortable because they think they have to be something or they have to be somewhere. They have to have certain accomplishments. And my life's like pretty lit. So you know, I look at my own page. I be thinking I'm not doing enough. And then I look at the pictures on my Facebook, on my Instagram, and I be like, yo, this shit pretty cool. And then I don't feel that sense of like, nah, I can't tell people how old I am because, you know, I'm a cougar. You know, I tend to, and I'm okay with that. Like, I know how old I am. I know how old I don't act, and I'm all right with that.
So the reason why I asked you for age is because I wanted to show that age wasn't really an issue. Because one of the things that we're realizing is the cusp between the millennials, the Gen Zs, and Gen Ys, and so on, is because the source of information. I'm a millennial. I'm 32. So for me, I'm on the cusp where I wasn't really raised with a cell phone, but then I also was introduced to the cell phone at its infancy age. Whereas someone underneath me is, you know, they were raised with the internet and all of that stuff. So one thing that I do realize, especially with my mother is in her 50s, she's 55. My mother, she too is now becoming more of her own. She's now understanding herself and now understanding when she needs some time for herself, she needs some time for herself. But one of the things, I feel like the world of information has enlightened that for every generation, because if it wasn't for that, we would all be repeating these generational habits that grandma did and holding anger in and holding all of that. So I wanted to ask your age to show everybody that it doesn't matter how old you are, you really can rejuvenate your life and really realize, yo, I can do this. I don't have to sink into just because I had kids, grandkids, and all of that stuff. So I'm happy you did that.
I still live my best life. Like, I think people think like, oh, well, you're a grandma, you can't date. I'm like, well, I have to if I want to get married again, you know, or you can't go out and be in the club because you got to babysit. And I be telling my daughter like, well, I'm going out. You know, so I can't babysit tonight. Like, it's okay. I'll be around tomorrow night, maybe. Or you got to book me in advance, just like everybody else. You know, like, you know, but I feel like we can't, the generational stuff is heavy for me. You know, it's really heavy for me, especially Caribbean parents and that generational stuff. And like, you know, going through divorce, having children young. Like, I broke every single generational curse. For real. Like, I done been divorced. I done had kids in my teens. I done, you know what I mean? Like, I've went back to school and got degrees where there's certain cultures where it's like women are not supposed to have big boisterous voices. And then there's me. And then there's me who
comes out with it loud, say it loud.
Yeah. Like, and I'm, you know, I don't live by the stereotypical, you know, storyline. And I don't want to. I don't want to. And that was a very hard mold to break too, because it's like you're going against everything you know.
So with that being a hard mold to break, how did you balance? Because me, myself, I don't have as much on my plate as you do. I don't have any kids. The only thing I would say would be my overwhelming factor is work, all the different things that I involve myself in. But as a parent and a grandmother, how did you create those schedules to be able to allocate time for yourself and your passions? What is it that you did? What were your steps?
Really? I plan a lot. I'm a planner junkie. I have a whole Instagram and YouTube dedicated just to my planner life. And I had to do that. I started planning when I was younger with my daughter. But then as I got older and I went to grad school, I was like, wait a minute, I got grad school, I got the remnants of this divorce, I got the kids' schedules, I got my schedules. And I had to like sit down and plan my life and be intentional with what I was planning. And so if you look at my planner, and I carry it with me because it's like my Bible, like Saturdays, for instance, I'm off. I'm off. There's that time is for life. You know, that time is for Chuck E. Cheese with my kid, even though he don't want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. That time is family time. With the podcast, it got to the point where I was recording every day. I literally had interviews set up every day. And my poor son every day was like, Mom, can we go today? And I'm like, no, not today, baby. Can we go tomorrow, Mom? No, not tomorrow. So now I was like, no, y'all got Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are the days that I'm willing to sit down and that I'm in my own personal studio recording. Anything outside of that, I book. So it's really being intentional with my time. I just got back from Disney World on Sunday. My son turned 13. The whole entire time that I was there, I was like, I wasn't on my phone. I barely took any pictures. I was like, I'm just going to live in this moment and take this moment in and enjoy this moment with my daughter and my son, because that's where I needed to be. And my soul needed that. That trip was for him, but my soul needed replenished. I needed to feel some joy. And so I was like, I'm going to step away from the social media. I'm going to step away from the phone this weekend unless it's an emergency. I'm not talking to nobody. And really just carving out time. You know, also, like you said, you're a millennial with the cell phone. Just like we're at this constant satisfaction of being able to speak to people, of being able to reach out, of being engaged in, something that's not in front of us,
being
really,
accessible
in real life, and being accessible. And I recently, I was just like, no, I'm not answering. Like, I will straight be in the house and be like, I'm not answering the phone. Yeah, and my kids will be like, Mom, the phone's ringing. I'll be like, I hear it. I don't want to talk to nobody right now.
Yes.
And I don't talk to nobody.
Good. Now, for those who are looking to get to that level, if the phone's ringing, I don't want to speak to anybody. What does a planner look like to you? What is it that are you planning every hour of your day? What is it? Are you taking time out for working out? What does your day-to-day planner look like?
So my day-to-day planner blocks out all the big things I need to do for the day. So like I was at work today, so that's blocked out. And then the things I need to do at work are listed there. My gym time is blocked out so that I make that time for myself. So the next thing is I was scheduling all of work, like podcasts, interviews, photo shoots, emails. I was scheduling a lot of work because people like to look busy. But, and I, I'm a Black woman that goes to therapy, FYI.
Me too.
And my therapist was like, but you don't got nothing in there for yourself. Like, yes, you got Saturday with your son, but you don't have anything there for yourself. I'm going to need you to block out that gym time and not just go because you can, but set your intention. And so really, when I think about life and I think about where I am and how I could sink into my skin, I think about setting intention. Like more than planning, you have to set your intentions. What do you want out of your life? What do you want out of your weekend? What do you want out of your day? Right? And set your intention. And so every day, yes, I could just write the things I need to do. But more importantly is what is my intention for today and how I want to feel and what I want to accomplish? How does this get me closer to my goals? Because anybody could just get a planner and write down appointments. Like I'm not planning appointments. I'm planning life. I'm planning vacations. I'm planning trips. I'm planning 5 years, 10 years. I'm planning a rich husband so that I could retire and run my business. Like, I'm not just planning how to get through the week with what I have to do. I'm intentional in what I want to do.
Amen. I love that, especially being intentional on what you want to do. So I'm kind of happy that you brought up the whole therapy thing because I too am in therapy. And one of the things that my therapist had me do was write out a list. And she said, if you were given all the money in the world, anything they gave you the entire planet on a platter, what would you do with it? And I was just like, I would travel here, I'll do this, buy a house here, do that, spend this, do that. And she's like, I need you to look at your list. Like you didn't put family, husband, anything that had to do, you didn't even put a dog. Like you didn't put anything that had to do with being a companion. Then she's like, you have to sit down and really evaluate. Do you want to be rich and lonely? Do you want to be rich and alone? Like you have to, like what your therapist said, but you have to put the time out for yourself. And those are the things that, especially with millennials, are learning. Now, in terms of being intentional, manifestation, how are you intentional? Because a lot of people they're trying. I feel like this is the year of intention for many people, including myself. Now, I know how to be intentional because I'm just moving toward. But there are times where, those blessing blockers that will come in and like literally knock you off your pedestal and make you not really makes you feel like the goal that you're trying to get to is further than where it really is. So how do you stay intentional throughout all of the chaos?
The first thing I will tell you is that setting a goal is not about. So here we're going to get into my whole, I believe in the universe. I believe in energies. I believe that you can set a goal, but sometimes we worry too much on how we're going to get there. Mm-hmm. Right? And not so much on what the goal is. And sometimes the job isn't for you to worry about how you're going to get to the goal. It's for you to come up with the goal. And sometimes people are so caught up in, well, that could never happen. Well, if you say it's never going to happen, then it's never going to happen. Right? And so you have to set your intention, and sometimes you just got to set it and leave it. And then other times you got to say, okay, well, what can I do today? What's this small step that I could do today to get me closer to my goal? Right? If it's enroll in school, if it's talk to my partner, if it's kiss my kid, what are the small things that I can do? But sometimes we be talking ourselves out of things because we just think it's impossible. And it's not impossible. You gotta make that goal there, and you gotta set that intention big. And then every day you're gonna do one tiny little thing. Yep. And some days that tiny little thing might just be getting up out of bed. And that's okay. And then tomorrow it might be, I'm going to make a phone call. And the next day it might be, I'm going to write. And the next day it might be, you know what? I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to come up with a writer's retreat. I'm going to go visit my great grandma, listen to her story, whatever it is. But developing yourself is just as much important as the goal. You got to be ready to get there too.
Yes, I love that. Now, getting ready to get there, we have the devil. The negative side of the universe. Right. So when the kitchen sink is thrown at you, how do you stay tall and strong and pushing forward?
Honestly, I burn my sage. I burn my sage. I be saging myself like it ain't funny. You would think it was bug spray.
Hold on. One second.
Yeah. Yes. I carry crystals in my and I reflect a lot. Like, did I handle this the best way I could have? How did I contribute to this situation? I check myself before I check anybody else. Because if I'm out of pocket, I have to understand what happened to me that got me out of pocket and why I let somebody get me like this. So that's where I'm at in my life. A lot of people walk around angry and they want to curse the next person out. I've been looking at myself like, why you let this person get you this mad? Why are you this upset? Is it going to matter tomorrow? Can I silence the phone call? Can I stop the text? Can I step away from this? Because the reality is, as much as you mad at that next person is, do you need to engage in this? And I'm at a point in my life where 9 times out of 10, I pay my own goddamn bills. I don't need to engage in this. I'll be at my mama's house. As soon as she starts to piss me off, I'd be like, all right, it's time to go. I got to go, mom. And I don't engage. I'll see you tomorrow. We could start again, fresh. I treat them like I treat the kids at school. Every day a new day. And sometimes you have to learn to walk away because you could be mad all you want, but why are you internalizing that? Why are you feeling that? Why are you allowing I told somebody, I know this guy, it's my ex-husband, and he always like, there's always drama in my life. The devil is always looking for me. And now in my heart, I'm like, my man, if you always in the tornado and you always in the drama, it's not everybody else. It's you the tornado. And so I use the same advice to myself. If I'm always around drama, perhaps I'm the drama. So now there ain't no drama in my life. It's a nice 82 degrees and sunny where I live. And where I live is in this bubble.
I love it. You want to know why I'm so happy? Because I feel like I sing and dance and sing, preach and song and dance, everything. I'm mixing up the words. But in general, I'm always the one that is saying the same thing. So just to hear it being reciprocated back to me, it makes me feel like, okay, you're not crazy.
You're not crazy.
You really are going somewhere. Like,
You're not
I
crazy.
always tell my mom, I'm like, okay, I need a break. And I'm like, am I crazy for needing a break? Oh, okay, that's kind of
No.
great to know that. Wow.
No.
Okay, this is amazing.
No.
So for those, because now I need to get into where can we find parents? Like I just need to know for those who are interested in wanting to know or taking your courses or just learning more about how to balance themselves and block out those blocking blessers or any of those things. The blessing blockers, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, we're our own worst enemies with our blocking our blessings. We are our own worst enemy. Like, don't speak negativity into your own blessings. Don't put doubt into your own lessons. Don't put negative energy into your own blessings. Like, you got to believe it for it to be here, for it to manifest. If you don't believe it, ain't nobody else going to believe it. You know,
Amen.
And so we got to get out of our own way sometimes. You know what? How is that going to happen? Don't worry about the how. Just do it. Just do it and put one foot in front of you and just keep going. Like we can't sit and just think. If we thought about all the negative things that could happen when we leave the house, we won't leave the house.
Oh, for sure. For sure. All right. So
okay,
now,
so where can you find me?
Yes, I was just going to say, now we need to know where to find you.
Well, I have a website, so you can go to www.sayithloud, SAYITH. It's sayith in the third person because I'm an English teacher. Loud.com. So you can check that out. You can also check us out on our podcast every Friday. We are streaming on all major platforms. So any of your heavy hitters, we're on there. iHeart, Odyssey, Apple, Spotify, you name it. We're out there. So you can get a dose of your good energy every Friday with your favorite gills.
Love it with your favorite gill.
I'm on Instagram. Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, all of that kind of stuff.
Yes, mama. Now we got to get into the, self-care quiz to see if you're really doing a good job. Let's see if my screen shares. Let's see if it does it.
I got you.
Can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay. Okay. It shows on my website as well. Okay, great. So on my website, you just go there, scroll down, and then you go to take the self-care quiz. So we are going to take that with you to see if you are doing a good job. Are you good at taking care of yourself? All right. So do you eat regularly? I love eating or I hardly eat. Either I'm not hungry or I'm too busy.
I love eating, y'all. Can't you tell? I done gained all this weight. I love eating. I love the camaraderie of eating.
Not the camaraderie. I love that. Yes,
I do. I love to go out with my friends to eat. Like I'll go out and pick nice restaurants. I don't even be that hungry. I just like to get dressed up and go out to eat.
That's what I'm talking about. You don't need to be going anywhere. All right, next question. I take time to slow down and take care of myself when I'm sick. Always, or I don't have time for that. Always.
No, I always. Yeah.
Okay, good job. All right. I get enough sleep. Sleep, do you mean a nap? I'm always working, or I love my sleep. I need it always.
I love my sleep. I love my bed. I love the bed sheets, the pillow, the weighted blanket. I love it all.
Oh my God, you sound like half of my friends and my mother. Like, oh, my bed texted me and said it's time to come home.
Well, it's a safe space.
Yes, it is. All right, next question. I love myself and give myself positive affirmations. Not really.
Yes.
I'm always repeating positive affirmations. Yes.
I'm always repeating positive affirmations.
Awesome. Next, lose yourself in internet browsing for long period of time. Nope. I only use my phone to make calls, or I'm guilty. I get lost in it.
I'm gonna say I only use my phone to make calls. I get bored with social media after a while, so I'm not really on it as much as I should be.
All right. Next one. I allow myself to show emotions. Absolutely not. I do not cry. Or absolutely, crying is healthy.
I don't really know how to answer this question because I allow myself to feel emotions. I allow myself to show emotions. I just don't show them to anyone. How does that work? Because if I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry in my car by myself. I don't be crying with people.
But you cry.
I do cry. I just don't cry with other people.
Touche, same here. What's your sign?
Scorpio.
Scorpio. No wonder we're so similar. When's your birthday?
October 26th.
I'm November 4th. Oh, my Scorpio sister.
That's what it is.
My Scorpio,
the Scorpio.
sister.
I have lots of emotions. I just don't always show them to everybody.
Oh, yes, honey. Oh, this is why there was I got it now. All right. I take time to chat and get to know others. No new friends. I'm okay with the friends I currently have, or I love meeting new people.
I love meeting new people, and my kids think I'm crazy because I talk to strangers.
So does my family. So we're even.
I'll talk to anybody.
That's it. Okay, self-care. You're doing great. It sounds like you know all about your self-care and are excellent taking those few moments to focus on yourself. Keep it up. Self-care can be really positive thing for anyone, especially for people who have experienced some form of trauma. Self-care is important for your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. If you're used to doing the same techniques or methods, maybe try something new. If you're usually journaling your feelings, try your hands-on art. If you're always going for a run, do a different type of physical activity. Try some meditation or deep breathing exercises too. New experiences can be fun as well. So you are doing good, Mama. All right. So I was like, we made this interview very quick and short. I do just reiterate one more time for those who want to follow you, because I think you are amazing. And I think my followers are going to love you as well. So please let them know one more time where to find Miss Karyn Elle.
I am on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I am Karyn Elle. I am KarynElle. Podcast, SAYITHLOUD on all major platforms. And then if you want to find all of that stuff, you can head over to my website, www.sayithlOud.com. Say it loud.
There you guys have it. Karyn, I thank you for being a guest on our show today. Talkers, as you guys always know, tune in every Tuesday or every other Tuesday as we're here with a new episode. And season 8 is going to start in September, and it's going to be about fashion. So, till later, everybody. Bye.